he's missed a handful of games, and they don't want to mess around with injuries. So even with Tom Thibodeau, I expect there to be a minutes restriction. He obviously changes the Knicks' complexion completely because he is their clutch scorer.
Yep.
He knows how to run the offense, whether he's playmaking or looking for his own shot. But I think the ceiling for the Knicks is second round. You mentioned it. It's really Boston, Cleveland, and then everyone else. And as it pertains to, okay, who do you pick between Boston, Cleveland? I think you can flip a coin, 7-game series. But if I had to pick one, I think it would go toward the Boston Celtics. Technically, the Cavs have a better record, but here's why I'm leaning toward Boston. Not just because they're coming off the championship season, but when you're looking at the depth from both teams, I think that the Celtics can absorb an off night from a Jason Tatum or Jaylen Brown much better than the Cavaliers could absorb an off night from Donovan Mitchell or Darius Garland. They're complete teams. They're great on both sides of the ball, but I think, the depth and obviously the experience that the Celtics have had give them the edge a little bit.
All right, I know this is off track, but I do this every year because I'm so infuriated by the Basketball Hall of Fame. I don't understand this. There's a separate Women's Basketball Hall of Fame. There is a College Basketball Hall of Fame. There is a International Basketball Hall of Fame, and yet there's no NBA Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
So when I'm reading headlines that say Bird, Moore, Anthony make Basketball Hall of Fame, no knock on Sue Bird and Maya Moore, but I mean, it's like, how is it that the NBA does not have its own Hall of Fame? Because the other levels of basketball do have their own Halls of Fame, and so they.
Number 1 on your car radio preset and the new and improved iHeartRadio app. WINCA in Miami, WMIB FM HD2 Fort Lauderdale. Free never sounded so good.
1-0 pitch. Stowers cracks that one out to center and deep. Siri is back. He looks up, and it's gone. The Marlins waste no time. Kyle Stowers with a 2-run shot, and they take a 2-0 lead in the first.
Miami Marlins baseball is on deck.
2-1. That kicks away from Rodriguez. Hill breaks for the plate. There will be no throw. And on a wild pitch, the Marlins walk it off again. 1-2. Conine lifts out to left field. Tommy Pham working back to the warning track. So is Sawinski. They look up, and it's gone. Griffin Conine to left center. And we're tied at 2 in the 7th.
Marlins on deck. Brought to you by ADT, the official smart security partner of the Miami Marlins and Norwegian Cruise Line. Experience more at sea. Let's head out to the ballpark. Here's your host, Steven Strong.
Nice job, Julian and Jonathan. Craigie told me 3 coffees today was enough, but I'm feeling frisky. Welcome live from Truist Park on a Saturday night. You're listening to Miami Marlins baseball on the radio. It's game 9 of 162, and tonight we bring you game 2 of a 3-game NL East set between your 4-4 Miami Marlins and the 1-7 Atlanta Braves. Clayton McCullough will hand the ball over to his 30-year-old Canadian right-hander, Cal Quantrill, who will take in Truist a little differently tonight. This is where it all started for Cal back in 2019. He debuted with the Padres right here in Atlanta. Quantrill will go opposite 22-year-old right-hander A.J. Smith-Schoffer, who won the final spot in the Braves rotation during an impressive spring campaign. It all starts at 7:15 right here on the Marlins Radio Network. Well, hi, everyone. Thanks for making Marlins on Deck a part of your Saturday night with Jack McMullen and Craig Minervini. I'm Steven Strom. Got another great show for you ahead of game 2 tonight. We'll first hear from Cal Quantrill. We'll make our way down to Ben Ingram, one of the radio voices of the Atlanta Braves. He gets us everything we need to know for game 2 here tonight. We'll get you at the count with Quantrill and Smith-Schoffer. Jack and Craigie will jump in as well. We got some back and forth. We got the StreamYard going. We got the YouTube going. We're on Fox Sports 940. We're so excited. Expo question of the day at Marlins Radio. And, of course, Steve's guarantee to victory. So, I mean, we all can agree here. It doesn't matter how long you've pitched or how short your career lasted. You never forget where it all started. And for Cal Quantrill, who's in season 7 of his major league career, he actually spoke yesterday about recalling that first ever start in the show, which occurred right here at Truist Park. And Cal was a Padre at the time. So here was Cal yesterday reliving that day and his preparations to this Atlanta lineup here tonight.
I remember sitting just a little further down there. Didn't have an empty locker between me and the next guy, that's for sure. Such an awesome day. I had family drive 18, 19 hours from Toronto to come see me. Aunt and uncle, parents flew in. It was a pretty good outing. A couple of jams, got out of them. Remember feeling pretty good about it. First strikeout, I think, was pretty good baseball. Charlie Culberson. Mm-hmm. But it was an awesome experience, and this place will always have a special spot for me.
Back then, did you know you had what it takes to still be in this league so many years later?
Yeah, absolutely. Or at least you have to believe you do. It felt like it was. I remember thinking like it was pretty good, but I know I can be better. And I guess I didn't imagine my next time pitching here to be 3 teams later, but part of baseball. And yeah, it's definitely good memories.
Looking back at your first outing here with the Marlins, what stood out to you most?
I think the numbers probably don't tell the full story there. I really thought I threw the ball well until the 5th inning. That's baseball, though. The last pitches have to be just as good as the first, right? So I got burnt a little bit at the end, but I'm happy with where my arm's at and happy with where my stuff's at. I think it's just paying attention to those little details there, and especially as the game gets late, second and third time through the order, and we'll be just fine.
What were you working on in your last bullpen?
I think there was some opportunities to execute some better splitters. I think there was a couple opportunities where I would have liked to do a little more with the fastball than just kind of away. And I think we ironed out those things in the pen. And, I feel like I've got a little bit more of a complete repertoire heading into today than I did last time. And otherwise, just feel good, get a good sweat on, and move on.
What sticks out to you about this Braves lineup? You know how potent they can be.
Yeah, they're good. They're a good lineup. They're a good lineup top to bottom. They definitely have some guys with a lot, veteran at bats. They're not just going to give in. I know that they're not off to the hottest start, but I think that's a team like this. You still have to be aware of, and I think those first 3-4 hitters are probably where you got to be a little more careful. But like I said, top to bottom, they're a pretty good lineup, and I think they have the ability to match up well. They got lots of lefties and righties, so it's a good team, and it's a good test for us, and knock out some of these division matchups early and see where we stand.
You talked about your last start. You felt like you fell behind early. What's the tweak there other than just throwing strikes early? What pitches? What kind of goes into that?
Yeah, I think I use the word maybe too often, but just urgency. I got rolling, and I think that 5th, I was doing a better job of it in the first 4, and then the 5th inning, I think there's a couple counts where I had an opportunity to end that bat and didn't. That caught up with me, right? So I think it's just urgency start to finish, early in counts, middle of counts, and then putting guys away when you have a chance, not fooling around too much.
All right, so that was Cal Quantrill yesterday talking about where it all started here at Truist Park. Debuted with the San Diego Padres back in May of 2019, and he talked about just the lineup here tonight, a challenging Atlanta Braves lineup that really broke open yesterday. Max Meyer actually pitched pretty well. He got a quality start, 6 innings, gave up 3 runs, but this lineup of Michael Harris, Marcell Ozuna, Austin Riley, Matt Olson, that 1 through 5 is really difficult. And Cal Quantrill, not a guy that's going to give in and walk guys. So it'll be interesting to see how he toes that line. His last start against the Mets, I would agree with him. He talked about his line probably not telling the entire story. Through 4 innings, he had given up just 1 run. The big bomb was Pete Alonso. And there was some activity in the bullpen for that AB. Anthony Veneziano was actually up. Or maybe it was someone else in the bullpen, but there was someone out there that could have potentially taken over for Cal Quantrill in that spot. Clayton McCullough and company trusted Cal to get out of that. He ends up giving up the grand slam. But I think all in all, you had to like what you saw from Cal Quantrill those first 4 innings. We'll see what he does here tonight against A.J. Smith-Shawver here at 7:15. We got a lot more to cover still to come. Of course, we'll get you ahead of the count, but next we'll hear from Ben Ingram, one of the radio voices of the Atlanta Braves, to get us ready for first pitch right here on the Marlins Radio Network.
6 fielder's choice. Hill aboard in the first pitch to Nick Fortes. This line down the left field line. That gets in. It's a fair ball. Pham tracking that towards the wall. Hill can really motor. He's around third. Throw is late towards the plate, and it's an RBI double for the guy that cannot stop hitting. Nick Fortes, his 3rd extra base hit in his 3rd game, and the Marlins tied at 1 in the second pitch. 1-2. Conine lifts out to left field. Tommy Pham working back to the warning track. So is Sawinski. They look up, and it's gone. Griffin Conine to left center. A shot the other way on the day his dad is inducted. And we're tied at 2 in the 7th. 2-1. That kicks away from Rodriguez. Hill breaks for the plate. There will be no throw. And on a wild pitch, the Marlins walk it off again.
Derek Hill here with us now. Third walk-off win. What the heck's going on?
Little fist frenzy out there. I'm going to call it that. Or a little Marlins mayhem, whatever you want to call it. But boys are just out here competing, just trying to show the world that we're not no pushover.
What are you trying to read out there on the bases, specifically when you're at third?
Honestly, at third, right there, we are seeing it through, but we do a bunch of early work, just getting those good reads. Got to credit the coaching staff for keeping us on point.
What was that moment like, seeing Griffin Conine hit that home run in front of his dad, who was inducted into the Legends Hall of Fame? Derek Hill, for our audience that are on radio, Connor Norby just gave him a nice water.
Educational resources, and a place to learn, play, and grow. To learn more, visit marlins.com/Babcock.
Well, here we go. We're off and running on a Saturday night from Truist Park in Atlanta. It's game 2 of this 3-game set. Marlins looking to bounce back after yesterday's thralling 10-0. The Marlins fell to the Atlanta Braves. Braves were potent, and they were poised to break out in 2025. They got their first victory of the season. Marlins come in here tonight at 4-4. Cal Quantrill will make his second start of 2024 for the Marlins. Always love to go back and forth with the opposing broadcasters. They know the nuances, the nuggets that probably we can sit here and try to research and study for that we're never going to figure out. So we had Ben Ingram join me earlier this afternoon to talk about everything you need to know about the Atlanta Braves, what to expect from A.J. Smith-Shawver, and much more. Let's get to the spot with Ben Ingram. All right, Ben, well, that's one way to get your first win of the year yesterday. Just the overall tenor down in the clubhouse and just around the team after getting victory number 1 yesterday.
I think they were just relieved that they could still do it because we go out west to San Diego and L.A., and it's one thing to lose. But we had 4 games in a row where it was no runs, 1 run, 1 run. It's like this team 2 years ago slugged 500 as a team. So to come in and do this to begin the season, it's like, are we still good? Can we still do it? So I think it's just good to remind themselves they can still score runs, get on base, hit home runs, and more importantly, get base hits with runners in scoring position.
Atlanta's offense looked good, but your pitcher yesterday, Spencer Swellenbach, was phenomenal. Let's talk about tonight's starter, A.J. Smith-Shawver. Now, this was an interesting spring for you guys without Charlie Morton, without Max Fried. There was some open spots in that rotation. You guys make a trade with Ian Anderson. Was it more about what you didn't see from Anderson or what you did see from Smith-Shawver to have him in this spot in the rotation?
Yeah, I think it's a little bit of both because coming into spring, the thought was, okay, the business side of baseball is going to dictate the last 2 spots in the rotation. You had 2 guys who are out of options. Ian Anderson did not have any options left. Grant Holmes had no options left. So you don't want to lose them. So you can't send them to the minor leagues. Meanwhile, A.J. Smith-Shawver comes along, and his stuff is significantly better, I'd say. He has the better arm. And I think the opportunity was there for Ian to have a position. All he needed to do was throw strikes. He couldn't do that. I think he had 18 walks over the course of spring training. So it just wasn't there consistently enough. I don't fault Ian for that because he had the injury. He just needs to pitch. He needs to be able to go every 5 days. Well, we don't have the luxury of sending him to AAA to do that. And you can't afford to just let a guy go through all that here and bring them up at the risk of that. So I think that's what dictated that trade. And I think they like the arm of A.J. Smith-Shawver a lot. He needs to do what we saw Spencer Swellenbach do last year.
Hopefully not.
Exactly. Swellenbach last year was given the opportunity to learn, to grow. Every 5 days they're putting him out there. They knew he had the arm. He just needed the experience. That's the same thing with A.J. Smith-Shawver. He's got the arm. He's got the stuff. He just needs reps, and that's what he's getting.
So last week he was in San Diego, and you look at his line. He gave up 2 runs, 6 hits over 4 innings. What were some takeaways from Smith-Shawver's start against San Diego?
I think changeup looked good. But every time he got into trouble, it was because of walks. It was his own doing. So it's the reason that Spencer Schwellenbach is so good. It's not because he's got 5 or 6 pitches. It's that he can command 5 and 6 pitches. That's where A.J. Smith-Shawver is right now. That's the next hurdle for him. Good fastball, good slider, good changeup, but he's got to consistently control those pitches. He does that, he's going to be just fine. So that's what we saw last go-round versus San Diego. When he was good, fastballs, get him 0-1, swings and misses on the changeup. But when he's falling behind 1-0, 2-0, 3-0, and they're able to load up on that fastball, that's when he got into trouble.
Got one more for you last night because we were bloviating about Max Meyer, who didn't have his best stuff but still ends up with a quality start, career-high 8 punch-outs. Curious on the other end, what did you see from Max? What did you like from Max last night?
We've liked him ever since we saw him last year. We got to see him twice last year. Good swinging and stuff. Good posture on the mound. I like what we see out of him, regardless of he has a 1-2-3 inning where he faces some trouble. He stays very composed for a guy as young as he is. You can tell that he's a very confident dude and trusts his stuff. And look, to me, when it comes to big league players, your confidence is going to stem directly from your preparation. And he comes across as very prepared and knows his stuff can get outs at this level. And it certainly can. He got plenty of swings and misses last night. So you got a good one in him.
Big part of your team are 2 guys that actually aren't playing right now in Spencer Strider, who we saw last night in a AAA appearance, and Ronald Acuna Jr. Can you give us some updates on possibly when we'll see those 2 maybe back here in the big leagues with the Braves?
Yeah, let's start with Strider. So we went last night. Last night was his 4th outing, counting his workload at spring training. They wanted to get him 5 outings before they evaluate can he come back to the big league. So that's 1 more outing at AAA. With the line that he put up last night, I think he went 5 1/3. He had 8 strikeouts, didn't allow a hit. That tells me you're pretty close if you're not there. So he'll go 1 more go round at AAA. And then at that point, I think they'll say, okay, thumbs up, you can bring him up to the big league. So here we are, the 5th of April. Maybe you have him by the middle of this month. That would be huge. I think that's kind of what they target. For Ronald Acuna, I haven't seen him since spring training, but we didn't see him in any games. But the drills that I watched him do on backfields, when he was hitting, everything looked normal. They targeted the Dodgers series May 2, 3, and 4 for him. And last I checked, that was still on target. If it's later than that, I don't think it'd be a whole lot later than that. They just wanted to make sure they take it slow with Ronald. He's champing the bit to get back in there, man. So they just want to make sure that the knee is 100% good. So I'd expect him sometime early May.
You're the best, Ben. Thank you for the time.
Appreciate it, man.
All right, that was Ben Ingram. Boy, does he got pipes. Here's to voice your life. Morgan Freeman, Rod Allen, Ben Ingram. Those are some, I mean, you know, they were just born to do this. Unbelievable. Good spot with Ben Ingram. And just talking about Strider and Acuna, the Marlins are going to see the Braves in mid-June and twice in August. So they are most likely, and they are going to see both of those guys, hoping in that sort of situation you get the Braves over with early in the season, but that is not the case for Miami. They face them here in a 3-game set, and then again, they're back and facing Atlanta in mid-June and then twice in August. So we shall see what lines up for Spencer Strider when he eventually does face off against the Marlins. Let's break. Let's get you ahead of the count. Cal Quantrill, A.J. Smith-Shawver. That's your matchup on the mound. 7-15 first pitch. Slow it down, Stephen, on the Marlins Radio Network.
Just unleash. First pitch. Hervis takes upstairs. That pops off the catcher Bart's glove, and everybody up 90 feet, including Xavier Edwards, who comes in to score. For these violent swingers. 1-2. Otto lines one into right center. That's in for a base hit. Stowers around third. He will score no problem. Cruz's throw is coming home. It was on the fly there, and the throw to second is late to try and get Lopez, but he's in there. Pitch from Holderman. That one lined up the gut. That's in for a base hit. Otto around third. He's coming home. Cruz has no throw this time, and Dane Myers with an RBI single ties this game at 4 in the 8th. Second and third, nobody out. In the 0-2, Stowers rips down the right field line. That gets in, and the ball game is over. Kyle Stowers with a line shot down the right field line, and it's a walk-off winner for the Fish on opening day. Sanoja taps the plate. The Marlins mob Stowers in right center field. They rip off the jersey.
All right, with the hero here, or one of the heroes, Kyle Stowers. Take me through the AB.
Yeah, I just felt like runner on third, no outs, just trying to get that run in. And first 2 pitches kind of was babying it, just trying to be too fine with it. And So, for me, it was that last pitch was just kind of letting it go.
What a way to start opening day, huh? You get a walk-off home run, you get Sandy back, Clayton McCullough's first managerial win. What's this been like?
Yeah, huge congratulations to Clayton. First win as a manager. Awesome to get that for him out of the first game. It's just a lot of fun. A group that, maybe people don't have a ton of expectations with, but that's fun. That's great. We believe in ourselves, and that's all that matters.
How good does this feel for you personally, man? I know you came over from Baltimore. You struggled a little bit. You started to figure it out. To have this moment this early on, what does it mean?
Yeah, I mean, it's just one day at a time. It's a great start, and we're excited to get back after it tomorrow. Fun to have.
Listen to Marlins on Deck with Steven Strom on the Marlins Radio Network.
Back here at Truist Park here in Atlanta. This is Marlins on Deck. Steven Strom, Craig intervening, Jack McMullen. Those two have your call at 7:15. They will join me, though, next segment for a little back and forth. Let's get you ahead of the count. We'll start here with Cal Quantrill, 30-year-old right-hander who will take the ball for the second time where it all started 6 years ago. He debuted with San Diego as a Padre. He was the number 12 prospect in that system, tossed 5 2/3, allowing 2 runs in his first ever start against the Braves. Our trivia question. And I always tell you when I do my Expo question, I tell you it during the show. There is one guy that is starting tonight in the lineup that Cal faced back in 2019. That's our early Expo question. Now, let's talk about Cal's last start against the Mets. And context is key. He took the loss after giving up 6 runs on 8 hits and a walk in 4 frames against the Mets. The context? He allowed 1 run through 4 of those innings. He did look like classic Cal. Now, New York broke the game open with a Pete Alonso grand slam. That was a cherry on top. That really broke the game open in the 4th inning. He did not finish that 4th. The last time Cal did face Atlanta was July 5th, 2023, when he pitched with the Cleveland Indians at the time. Now it's the Guardians. 4 1/3, 11 hits, 5 runs over 99 pitches. We know Cal Quantrill doesn't want to give in. He's not going to walk a lot of guys. But this Atlanta Braves lineup is lethal. They're pointing, especially those top 5. We'll see how Cal handles them here tonight. Quantrill will go opposite A.J. Smith-Shawver, 22-year-old right-hander from Fort Worth, Texas. He makes his second start of 2025. Interesting story here with A.J. He was a 2-sport athlete. He had a scholarship to go play football and baseball at Texas Tech. He actually won a Texas State championship with Bobby Witt Jr. He started really pitching in 2020. The Braves liked him. They drafted him, gave him $1 million. And all of a sudden, A.J. Smith-Shawver really rose through the system in the ranks. He headed into spring with 2 open spots in that starting rotation with no Charlie Morton and Max Fried. He took it. He ran with it. Didn't look back across 5 spring training appearances, 16 combined innings, a 3.9 ERA, 20 punch-outs to 5 walks. The walks are going to be key. He walked 3 against San Diego in his first start of the season last Sunday, allowed 2 runs on 6 hits over 4 innings, 77 pitches. Ben Ingram talked about his control. We'll see if the Marlins can show some plate discipline here tonight and draw some walks. So that's your matchup on the mound. Cal Quantrill goes opposite A.J. Smith-Shawver. Let's break. We'll have Craigie and Jack on next. 7:15 first pitch, game 2 of this 3-game set. Marlins are going to bounce back and punch back right here on the Marlins Radio Network.
Guy slugged over 400, had a 290 batting average. He's kind of picking up where he left off last year. 1-0 pitch. Edwards hits that deep enough. Out to left. Ji-Hwan Bae underneath. He makes the catch. Fortes trying it. Ji-Hwan Bae's throw coming home. And it's a little bit offline. Fortes comes in to score. And he ties the game at 1. Inning. Runs may come in here in the 6th. Marlins threatening. And Derek Hill lines one out to right center field. Sawinski on his horse. He won't get there. That one hops over the wall, and it's an RBI double to tie the game at 2. Any ball in the outfield. X is scoring, and that one is soft liner into center for a base hit. X coming around. Cruz's throw is coming home, and the same mistake from opening day. Otto Lopez takes second base. X was scoring no problem. He can fly, and the opportunistic Otto Lopez not only ties this game, but is now in scoring position. Well, you've got Santa Rosa Junior College, 20th round pick of the Royals in 2016. And Sawinski cracks one out to left field. The newly inserted left fielder Conine is back. Warning track and the wall. He leaps. Griffin Conine makes the grab. You're kidding me. He took a homer away from Sawinski. Pitch, that's rolled right side, that's through for a base hit. Pham going to try it from third. Throw coming home from Myers. It's on line. Hicks swipes the tag, and they got him. No. In the bottom of the 7th, it's an RBI single from Otto Lopez to tie it at 3. 1-2 pitch. That's rolled right side. That's through for a base hit.
At 0 down. I'm thrilled and I'm safe. Call Loctite Impact now. 954-500-LOCK. That's 954-500-LOCK. LoctiteImpact.com.
Remember sitting just a little further down there. Didn't have an empty locker between me and the next guy, that's for sure. I had family drive 18, 19 hours from Toronto to come see me. Remember feeling pretty good about it. First strikeout, I think, was Charlie Culberson, but it was an awesome experience, and this place will always have a special spot for me.
All right, so that was Cal Quantrill yesterday talking about it, reliving that first ever start in the show. Was right here at Truist Park in 2019. He pitched for the San Diego Padres. And Craigie and Jack, they joined me now. This is Marlins on Deck, getting you ready for Game 2 of this 3-game set between the Marlins and the Braves. We saw Cal last week against the Mets. He had that tough 4th inning, but he is a guy, Craigie, that is not going to walk guys. He's going to attack them. How is he supposed to balance here tonight against a pretty experienced and savvy lineup with Atlanta?
Hopefully he'll get off to a better start than I did here with our engineer, unfortunately, not having my mic up.
Zing.
I didn't say you were the engineer, but there's only 3 of us here. No, for one thing, the Braves are alive now. They had what they needed yesterday, as Brian Snitker said, to pick us off the mat. Quantrill's going to have to deal with that tonight because now they got a little confidence. They got off to a great start, and it's a tough lineup, especially in this ballpark. I think he has to be true to himself here, not beat himself. Again, he's going to rely on the defense. The Marlins have played excellent defense this year. They'll turn a couple double plays, and we'll see what happens. But I think he's excited for this. As you mentioned, it's his first not his first return, but he returns to the place that he started, as does the home plate umpire, whose major league debut was right here.
Oh, how cool is that, Junior Valentine?
Very good note. We need Cal Quantrill big time tonight. We also need the offense shut out for the first time in 25. They were shut out 12 times in 24. Jack, with A.J. Smith-Shawver, how do we attack this guy tonight? Interesting 22-year-old right-hander.
Yeah, it's interesting. I think that you have to eliminate pitches with A.J. Smith-Shawver. This is a young kid who came up, and his best pitch when he came up was a slider, but everybody seems to love this splitter that he's throwing. This changeup, this splitter, whatever you want to call it. It's a changeup, really low spin. I think he grips it like a splitter, so that's why it's being tagged as a splitter. But he threw that pitch more than he threw his fastball in his season debut in San Diego. Now, he took the loss in that one, but he was actually really effective in San Diego. It was just the Braves offense that didn't really do anything on Sunday Night Baseball when Smith-Shawver did start. So I think if you're in the business of eliminating pitches, say you eliminate A.J. Smith-Shawver's breaking ball, you turn him into a 2-pitch pitcher in your mind. So you say, I'm only going to hit the fastball or the split. And then if he's not locating one of those, you say, okay, he has to beat me with the splitter. Let's gear up for that. So I think kind of funneling him in from a 4-pitch guy into a 2-pitch guy is going to be really important for this lineup.
I think you could do this as a profession, Jack. You're pretty good at this. Craigie, offensively, we get someone back in Derek Hill. We miss Derek Hill. He's a guy who plays good defense, really good on the bases. What do the Marlins regain here, getting Derek Hill back in the lineup?
I think you get some speed, too, not to mention the great defense in center field. You're right. He had a nice spring training. I think he adapted to that new style. He really liked it. It seemed like he clicked with the coaching staff very quickly.
Yeah.
Every time we talked to Clayton McCullough, it seemed like the top 1 or 2 or 3 guys he mentioned,
100%.
Derek Hill's name came up there. So he's a big part of this lineup. It's good to have him back. Unfortunately, Nick Fortes, a neck situation, maybe a little sprain, and he was taken out of the lineup about an hour or 2 before the game. They could use Nick as well, but he won't be in there tonight.
And Derek Hill using that torpedo bat, he told us today.
Yes.
We did not know that he is going to use it. And I think he said he left his bats back in Miami.
Yes.
So he's going to try to convince Kyle Stowers, who has put together some really good ABs, to borrow that bat.
So I wasn't around,
But Craig, when like flat screen TVs first came out, they were super duper expensive, right?
Yes.
Now you go to the grocery store and you can just grab a random
And heavy.
and heavy.
The first one I bought was 200 pounds.
Oh man!
Yeah,
and it was
HD,
and it was a
HD
lot more than $200, I'm
Yes,
sure. But
it
now you
was.
can find a flat screen for
It was
$200.
$800. Thanks for bringing that up.
But what the point that I'm
42
getting at
lousy
is like,
inches. What are you getting at, Jack?
what I'm getting at is, listen, if Derek Hill's not using his bats, he said, I'm hoping Stowers will let me borrow some of his. Are torpedo bats expensive? Like, do we know?
I
It's
don't
a
know.
new thing.
We have the guy that created it. We should just ask him. What is he selling them
I
for?
have no idea. Maybe like a friends and maybe a team discount for the team that he's employed by. I have no idea.
Okay, I want you guys to. We did this yesterday, but I want you to pick someone in this lineup tonight to sort of kickstart the offense, ignite it a little bit after getting shut out yesterday.
I'll go first.
Go ahead.
I think Xavier Edwards is going to set the tone against AJ Smith-Shawver, and that leadoff spot is so important against a young pitcher. We talk about how tough the first inning is. Maybe aside from the ninth inning, the first inning may be the toughest one to pitch in. Obviously, that's not accounting for anything leverage-wise, but if X can set the tone, see a bunch of pitches, find his way on base, maybe steal his third bag of the year, maybe even his fourth bag of the year, like this could create a level of panic in AJ Smith-Shawver. So I like X to set the tone.
I'm going to go with Matt Mervis. His father's here. I sat next to his dad on the bus yesterday. The girlfriend's driving in or flying in. She'll be here for this game.
Got to show
here
out
tonight.
for the lady.
And he's due, too. We saw a nice spring training from him. He also told me he loves the park, likes the way the ball travels. I'm going lefty stick, fourth guy up in the lineup for the Marlins, Matt Mervis.
All right, so we'll see Xavier Edwards at the top of the order. He'll play short, and hopefully we see Matt Mervis in the first. That means we got to the fourth hitter. He will back clean up and play first for the Marlins tonight. Excellent job, fellas. Rest that voice. We'll hear you in, 16 minutes? Good stuff, Craigie. Good stuff, Jack. Let's break. I got some injury updates for you. Did not share that yesterday. That's on me. I'll share them next, plus X-Bowl questions, Steve's guarantee. It's all next on the Marlins Radio Network.
This guy slugged over 400, had a 290 batting average. And he's kind of picking up where he left off last year. 1-0 pitch. Edwards hits that deep enough. Out to left. Ji-Hwan Bae underneath. He makes the catch. Cortez trying it. Ji-Hwan Bae's throw coming home. And it's a little bit offline. Cortez comes in to score. And he ties the game at 1. Inning. Runs may come in here in the 6th. Marlins threatening. And Derek Hill lines one out to right center field. Sawinski on his horse. He won't get there. That one hops over the wall, and it's an RBI double to tie the game at 2. Any ball in the outfield. X is scoring, and that one is soft liner into center for a base hit. X coming around. Cruz's throw is coming home, and the same mistake from opening day. Otto Lopez takes second base. X was scoring no problem. He can fly, and the opportunistic Otto Lopez not only ties this game, but is now in scoring position. Well, you've got Santa Rosa Junior College, 20th round pick of the Royals in 2016. And Sawinski cracks one out to left field. The newly inserted left fielder Conine is back. Warning track and the wall. He leaps. Griffin Conine makes the grab. You're kidding me. He took a homer away from Sawinski. Pitch, that's rolled right side, that's through for a base hit. Fan gonna try it from third. Throw coming home from Myers. It's on line. Hicks swipes the tag, and they got him. No. In the bottom of the 7th, it's an RBI single from Otto Lopez to tie it at 3. 1-2 pitch, that's rolled right side, that's through for a base hit. Fan gonna try it from third. Throw coming home from Myers. It's on line. Hicks swipes the tag, and they got him. No way.
AM Miami, WMIB-FM HD2 Fort Lauderdale. Free never sounded so good.
Fox Sports 940, Miami. Marlins on deck. Steven Strom, Craig Minervini, and Jack McMullen. They have your call at 7:15, about 14 minutes away from first pitch. Cal Quantrill goes opposite AJ Smith-Shawver. Second time we'll see Cal here in 2025. Want to get you some medical updates. Did not get to this yesterday. Edward Cabrera is going to start in AAA Jacksonville tomorrow. He'll make his second start down on the farm. Declan Cronin threw a bullpen yesterday in Miami. Andrew Nardi continues throwing progressions. Braxton Garrett continues his rehab. Connor Norby continues to progress in his baseball activities. He increased his hitting activity as well. Yuri Perez threw a bullpen yesterday right here in Atlanta. He is traveling with the team. Jesus Tinoco threw a bullpen in Miami yesterday. Jesus Sanchez continues to progress in his baseball activity. Ryan Weathers also continues to progress in his throwing program. So that's the updates on the injury front. Hopefully we see a couple of those guys. Should see Connor Norby hopefully in the next couple of weeks. Same thing with Jesus Sanchez. I know the next thing for those two are rehab assignments. Okay, let's get to our X-Poll question of the day. We talked about Cal Quantrill. He opened up here in 2019. His first ever start was against the Braves right here at Truist Park back in May of 2019. There is one starter in today's lineup that Cal faced in that lineup back in 2019. Make sure to vote. Who is it at Marlins Radio? It's time for Steve's Guarantee.
Batter up. Batter up.
Let's play some ball.
First pitch is moments away. Time now for Steve's Guarantees.
Oh, boy, Craig and Jack put their headsets on. Now I got a little pressure here on Steve's Guarantee. I mean, Jack went with Xavier Edwards. Craig went with Matt Mervis. I'm going to go with the lefty. I'll go with Griffin Conine. I think he's due for a big hit. Extra base hit, feeling a home run, but will not go out and say home run. I'll say extra base hit here tonight for the Marlins. Hopefully Miami can get off to a good start after yesterday's loss in Game 1. Folks, I hope you got the itch for first pitch because when we come back, Jack McMullen paints a picture. Craig Minervini, he's always ready to rock. Starting lineups in first pitch is right around the corner. Thanks for tuning in to the Marlins On Deck pregame show. I'm Steven Strom. Let's flip the M together, Miami. Marlins baseball is next. This is the Marlins Radio Network.